What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down DESHAUN Watson and his throwing mechanics ability. We're also going to talk about his ability to escape the pocket, keep his eyes downfield, and make a play. So let's get started. Guys, if you're a quarterback and you want to improve your football IQ, you want to get better at reading coverages, please check out that link in the description. It'll give you access to my website where we do 16 NFL defensive breakdowns a month. Okay, let's get started. So on this throw here, let's watch it full. Main thing I want to talk about here is his hitch and then his mechanics, how fast he's able to get this back hip through. Okay, so now, the mistake a lot of quarterbacks make when they take a three-step drop and a hitch is when they decide to hitch, they hitch up, right? When you hitch up, you're going to lose all of this power generated from your legs right here because your butt's going to pop up, then you might as well just be standing vertical and just be a vertical posture all the way up, okay? We want to be a vertical posture from my waist up, and I want to keep a slight bend in these legs, and when I hitch, I want to go towards the target. I want my energy always driving straight out at the target. So when he's dropping, you see his hitch. It's going this way. It's going this way straight out. Hitching this way, he's keeping that slight bend in his legs. That's something DESHAUN Watson is really good at, is by being able to keep the ground force he makes throughout this throw, okay? Because you can see the throw when he makes it, it looks effortless at the top half because we want to be relaxed up here and we want to let all the force come from our legs, our leg drive, pushing off that inside arch and driving this back hip through. That's where we want to let all of the force on a throw, all the velocity, even on a deep ball, all of the distance come from those two things right there. The arm does not play a factor. The arm is just a follow through for accuracy. So when he decides to make this throw, you see he's pushing, right? Pushing off that inside arch, getting that front foot down fast. When he gets that front foot down, the ball's in this opposite L angle or somewhere in that range, right? He doesn't lift this ball straight to 90. That's always one thing that I'm trying to teach. We don't want to lift the ball right to 90. We want to get someplace before. We want to let my hip drive take me to 90, right? So the faster you get that front foot down, keep a slight bend. That's what keeps the ground force from this back leg. That's how we keep power, right? We just don't want to let this front leg lock and extend up, right? We want to keep a slight bend. That's how you think of it, is you want to keep your toes down through the throw. First thing he strikes the ground with is his toes. That's going to keep a slight bend in that knee. Now, you can see his back hip is going to shoot through, okay? Now, but his back hip shoots through, that's what takes him to 90. The arm just supports that motion. The arm supports a short front stride, back hip driving through, that gets him to 90, right? Or rotating through. You want to just rotate all with both your hips, right? You want to rotate with the front hip and you want to rotate through with the back hip. You want your hips to be separate from your upper half and your shoulders, right? So his hips take him to that 90-degree angle. And now see, if he were to lift straight to this angle and then his hip were to come through, the ball would dip outside of his frame and go behind him, right? And then he'd have this coil, if you will, in his motion. That's not what we want. Or like a slingshot, I should say, right? This thing is L right to 90 because of his hip drive. And you can see now he gets in that strong, call it a position of zero. It's just essentially called when your hip is coming through before the ball. They call it chasing the hip. That's how you get torque if you keep that left arm nice and tight. And you can see his left leg here, you can kind of tell just by his posture, stays with that bend. That's how we keep ground force, right? It's all about ground force and torque. You keep a slight bend in your front leg, you push off the inside arch of your back leg, you keep your left arm nice and tight to your frame, and then when you rotate through the throw, you rotate all the way with your back shoulder on the target, okay? Those are the mechanics of a throw. That's how you hitch. You want to hitch at the target, keep the ground force, generate some torque, don't lift the ball straight to 90. Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. So again, three-step drop, hitching at the target, keeps a slight bend in his legs, and then drives through the throw, okay? So now, this play, a little bit of play action in the back here. The main thing I want to talk about is how quick he's able to get this ball out. I think an underrated aspect of his game is how quick his release is, okay? So not going to talk too much about the play action here, but we're going to talk about this progression, right? His eyes are to the left of the field, and that's where his feet go, okay? We want to tie our feet to our eyes. So wherever our eyes go, our feet follow. Reason being because once he starts to find Hopkins over the middle of the field here, his feet are going to get set, and right when his right leg hits the ground, he's going to drive and get the ball out. See, that's the thing quarterbacks do too many times, is because their base isn't good. See how his base is just outside of his shoulders here? They load up too much on that back leg, right? You want to be almost 60-40 with this thing. You want to be 60% of weight on your back leg, 40% on the front leg. That's how you drive. Or sometimes 50-50, it's a little dicey. I like a little bit more weight on that back leg because that's where we drive from, right? I like a little bit more than on that front leg, okay? But I don't want to be all the way on that back leg. So you can see when his eyes come over here, look where his feet go. Eyes come over to the right. Feet get set, and right when he sees that defender, his right leg hits the ground and he's driving, right? He doesn't get set and then wait, right? He doesn't come here, get set and wait. He sees, okay, I see it, I'm driving. Right when he sees it, drive. pushing off that inside arch, getting to that opposite L angle, right? Gets that front foot in the ground. His hip drive brings him to that 90-degree angle. His hips coming through before the ball. They call that chase the hip, right? Chase the hip. You want your hip to come through before the ball, but you want your shoulders, you want your left arm to stay nice and tight to your body, and you want your shoulders going back as you're driving. You're driving, shoulders go back, hip drive takes you to that 90-degree angle, and then as you can see, again, keeps a slight bend on that front leg, rotates all the way through with that back shoulder. That's how you make a progression. That's how you get the ball out of your hand faster. You don't wait for the receiver to be open, and then you start the throw. You see that receiver open, you tie your feet to your eyes, right when your right leg hits the ground, you're shooting this ball out because you have a good base in the pocket. That's how important a base is. If you were standing here, and let's say his feet were super close together and narrow, and then he saw this receiver, he'd have to load up, get to this wide base, then maybe take a hitch, right? But because he's nice and wide, he's in a strong position, he's able to just see it, hit that right leg, drive, get that front foot down, and get the ball out of his hands, keeping ground force, keeping torque, and even under pressure. Okay, let's watch this thing full speed one more time. It's a great job. Underrated aspect of his game is his quick release. So sees it, drive, out. That's how quick it has to be. That's how quick you have to go through progressions. Okay, so now we're going to talk about his ability to escape the pocket and to extend the play, right? Everybody knows that Watson is an athlete, right? Everybody knows that. But as a quarterback, we're a different kind of athlete. We have to extend the play rather than make the play, okay? That's the mistake a lot of dual threat guys make, is right when they catch this snap, the second they feel pressure here, their eyes drop and they just take off, okay? That's what I'm trying to avoid, and that's something that Watson is really great at, extending the play, okay? So let's watch it full speed. This is a hell of a play that he makes, right? Under pressure, sitting in the pocket, doesn't go dark. Right here, a lot of quarterbacks will just take off. Eyes downfield are the first thing. Let's get this ball out of my hand. Let's give it to my guy. Anytime we're in the red zone, I'm going to talk about this first, so I don't have to talk about it later. Anytime we're in the red zone and we got a big guy, tight end to throw to, big outside receiver, we could throw it above the rim. We could put it on his back shoulder. Anything, just give him a chance, right? In the red zone, it's all about chances and it's all about matchups. So we give our guy a chance. We attack a matchup. We're going to probably, I would say, 50%, people will say 50% of the time, right? I think it's 70% of the time we're going to win because we know where we're going. We have chemistry with that receiver, so we just got to give him a chance, and you should work that throw, okay? So now we're going to talk about him escaping the pocket here. So when he starts to feel pressure, he gets spun around here. He doesn't look down. He just doesn't want to take off and run. He loses vision downfield, right? And he had to that time, okay? Anytime we're escaping the pocket, though, guys, don't want to keep my eyes downfield. But in this situation, we had to lose vision because we're breaking a tackle. We're shedding a tackle. But what's the first thing that shoots up? His eyes. Anytime you have to, everybody loves to work those drills where you reverse out of the pocket, right? And these coaches love to teach it, but then the quarterback's eyes are looking at the floor the entire time. That's not realistic, right, guys? We got to be, every time we escape the pocket, the first thing to shoot up are our eyes. That is always number one on anything. And now he can see the field. Now he can see what's downfield and throw, and it's just a flick of the wrist. We just want to extend our hand like we're throwing at a dartboard, like you're cutting a target if you have a knife, and that's what's going to give you some accuracy, because when we're on the move, we already have momentum. So it's just about flicking our wrist at the target, just like we're throwing at a dartboard, and you see the result. We give my guy a chance, throw it above the rim. Let's watch this play full speed one more time. It's a great job by DESHAUN Watson. Again, starting to feel pressure here. Feel pressure. Gets spun around. First thing to come up are his eyes. Just a flick of the wrist. Flick that wrist right at the target like we're throwing at a dartboard, and give our guy a chance above the rim. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, please leave in the comments any quarterback you guys would like to see me break down next. I would really appreciate that, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.